The second wave of the High Republic begins tomorrow with the Rising Storm and Race to Crash Point Tower. To be clear, we are still in Phase 1, called Light of the Jedi, but we are in the second wave of stories. So today I'm going to run through a recap of Wave 1. That's Light of the Jedi, A Test of Courage, Into the Dark, the Marvel High Republic comic, and the IDW High Republic Adventures comic. So if you've forgotten anything, or if you just read Light of the Jedi and want to fill in the gaps, or if you just want a quick refresher, let's get going. So everything kicks off with Light of the Jedi by Charles Soule. We're 200 or so years before the Phantom Menace. The Republic is under the leadership of Chancellor Lina Soh, and the government is expanding into the Outer Rim, inviting more systems to join in their prosperity. They've built Starlight Beacon, a space station that'll serve as a hub for both the Republic and the Jedi Order, who will help preserve peace in the far reaches of space. But there's a group of marauders called the Nihil who don't like the idea of the Republic or the Jedi stepping into their territory, telling them they're not allowed to murder and steal anymore. So one of their leaders, Marchion Ro, engineers the destruction of a civilian transport as it travels through hyperspace. In theory, that should be impossible, but Marchion and the rest of the Nihil are able to use what they call hyperspace paths. This is thanks to a woman they have captured and under their control, Mari Santeca, who can use the Force to find dangerous but still usable routes through hyperspace that can interfere with standard travel through a well-known hyperspace lane. So debris from that ship starts exiting hyperspace across the galaxy at incredibly fast speeds. The Hetzal system is nearly destroyed, but the Jedi, led by Master Avar Kriss, swoop in and save countless lives. They work with the Republic to save more systems from the hyperspace emergencies and encounter the Nihil. Their conflict comes to what the Jedi think is a conclusion at a large battle at the Kur Nebula, but only a portion of the Nihil forces are destroyed in a strategic sacrifice made by Ro, who also engineers the capture of a Jedi Master named Loden Greatstorm. Marchion plans to torture Greatstorm and shows off a mysterious purple artifact he has in his possession. Loden's Padawan, Bel Zettifar, is left heartbroken, but believing that his master still lives. He is offered the rank of Jedi Knight, but insists on waiting until his master can be at the ceremony. After the Jedi celebrate their victory, Master Elzar Mann has a terrible vision of the deaths of his friends and peers. In A Test of Courage by Justina Ireland, a newly promoted and still very young Jedi Knight named Vernestra Ro has been tasked with the protection of a senator's daughter, Avon Starros. The Nihil sabotage the civilian transport they are traveling in, killing most of the people on board, but Vernestra escapes with Avon and a Padawan named Imri. They crash land on a nearby deadly moon where they fight to survive until the Nihil saboteurs track them down. Imri seeks revenge against them for the death of his master on the transport and goes so far as to attack Vernestra for attempting to stop his fall to the dark side. Imri is subdued but forgiven, and the Nihil are captured. Using their enemy's gear, the Jedi contact their order and return to Starlight Beacon. Vernestra requests Imri to become her Padawan. Into the Dark by Claudia Gray features the Padawan Reath Silas. His own trip to Starlight Beacon is interrupted by the hyperspace disaster, and his ship seeks shelter in a nearby but abandoned space station that has become overgrown with plant life. He and his fellow Jedi discover several statues that they believe to be artifacts of the dark side of the Force. When they are allowed to return to Coruscant, they bring the statues with them. As they perform a cleansing ritual, they discover the statues were actually holding the dark side at bay on the station. So they attempt to return the statues, where they learn of the Dringir, sentient carnivorous plants hell-bent on consuming all organic life in the galaxy. Reath and his master, Comac Vitus, barely escape with their lives. Also, there's a being named Geode that looks like a rock but isn't really, and he's the best. Anyway, now we're going into the comics by Cavan Scott. Another newly promoted Jedi Knight, Keeve Trennis, travels with her former master's Skier to investigate a distress signal. They discover a dead Hutt, seemingly murdered by the Nihil. They trace the ship back to an agricultural planet where they encounter the Dringir, now awakened and spreading across the galaxy. The planet is in Hutt space, and so the Hutts come to confront the Jedi, but wind up working alongside Keeve, Avar, and Skier to drive the plants off-world. The Dringir also infect Starlight Beacon, but are likewise defeated. And finally, we have the High Republic Adventures by Daniel Jose Older. The planet Trimant 4 is the site of a hyperspace emergence, and the only Jedi in the area to help are a group of Padawans led by Master Yoda. They assist the citizens who do not trust the Jedi or any use of the Force, but a young girl living on Trimant named Zine unleashes the Force herself to save her friends. Feeling betrayed, her best friend Crix leaves with the Nihil when Marchion Ro attacks. Marchion uses Crix and the knowledge of one of his elders to discover the location of a mysterious and ancient relic that is related to the purple item he already had. Meanwhile, Zine befriends several Padawans, including Lula Talisola. The Jedi agree to teach her more about the Force, even though she has no plans to join the Order. And there you go, a crash course on the High Republic Wave 1. Tomorrow you can pick up the Rising Storm and Race to Crash Point Tower. I'll be putting out reviews for both of them, but they're both great. If you've been enjoying the High Republic era, these will not disappoint. The Rising Storm is especially insane. Out of the Shadows will come out in July, and both comic series will continue to release monthly. We're also getting a manga called The Edge of Balance, an audio drama called Tempest Runner, and a comic mini-series called Trail of Shadows, and maybe more. I wouldn't be surprised. You should be all caught up if you want to dive in now, or if you haven't had the time to read every book and comic, you should know all the major relevant beats. Or if you've read everything, at least you have a refresher. If you want to check out The Rising Storm or Race to Crash Point Tower for yourself, consider picking one of them up for free on Audible. Just follow the link in the description or visit www.audibletrial.com/Star Wars Explained. The audiobooks are out tomorrow, and the production value on all the Star Wars books is very high with sound effects and music. It's like listening to a movie. Signing up for an Audible trial will get you a credit for one free book, and you can use it on The Rising Storm or Race to Crash Point Tower, or the other High Republic books, or just about any Star Wars book you can think of, or get any book you want. The point is, you get a free book, and you'll be supporting the channel when you do. Although, I would recommend using it on The Rising Storm to get more bang for your buck. It's a much longer book than Crash Point Tower. But that's it for today. If you haven't already, please like this video, subscribe to the channel to keep up with all our High Republic coverage, follow us on Twitch, Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook, and consider checking out our Patreon page. As always, thanks for watching, and may the Force be with you.